I'll just go ahead and double dip today. A few weeks back, we had Melania Trump introduce the artificial intelligence takeover of education. And what really bothered me was not so much that, because it's really not surprising given that this administration has sold the entire country downriver. What got me is the MAGA spin doctors. These were previously the people that were anti-digital everything leading up to this administration. But now we see the spin doctors coming out of the woodwork in the face of this artificial intelligence introduction, this rollout by Melania Trump, who could not be more pleased about artificial intelligence. And this is what gets me. The MAGA loyalists, oftentimes boomers, are now giving unsolicited counsel to young people as they look down the barrel of losing what is their white-collar middle management career that they got with their college degree. Because artificial intelligence now is not just moving for the menial labor positions, they're moving to middle management white-collar jobs. So soon, the jobs that people have because of a college degree are now going to be replaced with AI. So in response to that, the MAGA loyalists, usually, as I always say, the boomers, are giving unsolicited advice to young people, saying, well, they better adapt to it, or they better figure something out. That's fucking easy for you to say, isn't it? When you got to buy your first house with your lunch money on a part-time shoe salesman job as you went to fucking college for free, basically. And then they have the nerve to tell people, young people my age and younger, that they need to really adapt to this switch in artificial technology as it completely destroys people's careers and vocations. And they're telling you that you need to suck it up and adapt to it, when it pretty much is just going to move to bankrupt you, to get you reliant on the digital ID, backed by a social credit score, which I won't have. It'll be in the negatives, or they'll create the death camps so they can commit the real Holocaust of the Goy. And these spin doctors, these faggoty MAGA spin doctors, have the fucking nerve to give you unsolicited advice about how to go about the AI takeover and its ability to take away your income and your salary, because that is coming. That job that you got with your college degree that you think isn't going anywhere, it's going away. Sorry, hate to break it to you. Probably about before 2030, say goodbye to any middle management position type jobs. Yeah, CPAs, people working like marketing, all of that's going away. They're going to erase all of that. So a lot of people who went to college and got degrees, it's about to be obsolete. It was a part of the Great Reset, the Green New Deal, Agenda 2030, the New World Order. It was a part of it. Their goal is to make it so that you need them. It's a very simple fucking concept. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to internalize. But that's what really fucking pisses me off, is the MAGA loyalists, the older people who never had to deal with this robust world of technology and its influence on markets and how it makes everything way more difficult because everything has already been invented. Yeah, the wheel's already been invented. H&R Block has already been invented by Mark Cuban. Amazon's already been invented by Jeff Bezos. All of these things, all the things that there was to do, from a civilization standpoint, have already been done. Basically, all the prosperity's been raped and pillaged and ruined by credit and ruined by these loans and all of this crap, all of this debt that was accrued in the 1980s, by the way. And you want to also, you want to wonder why the economy sucks nowadays? This is going to piss a lot of people. All the reasons why our economy sucks nowadays is because of everything that went on in the 80s. Yeah, the time where all the millionaire boomers were being created. Because that was the time where you could just walk into some fucking place and look the part, and in 3 years you're a multimillionaire. Not the case anymore. It might be the case in certain situations, but that's like this idea of the American dream, class mobility. It is going away. Now there's few exceptions to the rule. I get that. But that whole idea, they wanted to destroy class mobility, the American dream, the idea that you start out with a shit job and by the end you have a cake job that makes tons of money and you're really just the person who delegates and appoints, and other than that you're out to lunch. Because that's what everybody wants ultimately, is to be in a position where one day you don't have to wake up and kill yourself for a meager salary. That's the American dream, is getting out of that. Is being able to like go on a vacation whenever you want without having to talk to your soulless company that looks at you like a number to see whether you can enjoy 2 weeks of your life or not. So now that's all about to get way worse. And now they're going to create a system of digital dependency by taking your career away with artificial intelligence as they reshape American education. And again, the MAGA loyalists, they're eating it up. They're eating it up. They think it's dandy. And that's what a spin doctor is. Because in the beginning, they were talking all tough about anti-digital this and anti-digital that. And now they're lapping it up. They're happier than a pig in shit that it's being ushered in. I had to go take some pre-workout before I got on here to do this. Yeah, so my blueberry pre-workout. Just to come, because like I didn't want to do another video, but then I saw these articles about AI getting rolled out, and then I saw a couple of these idiot boomer MAGA loyalist sycophants go online and fervently defend the artificial intelligence revolutionary takeover, in which white-collar college boy jobs are now getting taken off the table. Unless you are an engineer, an inventor, or like a doctor, because doctors will probably be kept around because humans don't want robots working on them. I wouldn't want a robot performing surgery on me. So doctors aren't really going to go anywhere. I'm pretty sure nurses will probably still be a thing. Most humans, even rich people, they don't want like robots touching them because like, yeah, even a robot can make a mistake. But as far as all those other careers, like the marketing, the accounting, the working for some hedge fund company, working for Vanguard, State Street, Blackstone, BlackRock, any of those companies, if you're middle management, you're fucked. Sorry. Unless you go and, I don't know, make partner, you're fucked. They're about to make our lives exponentially harder. And it's all on purpose. Rescue anger victim, order out of chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. One world government. That's why the I was on the $1 bill. That was to tell you. And now that the New World Order is here, and artificial intelligence is here, and the MAGA loyalists and the boomers are lapping it up, meanwhile, the average young person, people younger than me, are having to choose between putting gas in their tank or buying a fucking loaf of bread, even with a decent career. Like I know, like I've said this before, I know people who or do have decent careers and they make great money, but they still can't get ahead because of the cost of living, the taxes, the this, the that. Even people I know that are business owners, it's like they can sort of still prosper, but not nearly as much as they used to or plan to in the future. And they want this. They do not want you succeeding. They do not want you self-sufficient. They do not want you not having to worry about where your next meal's coming from. They do not want you to not worry about how you're going to pay your bills. They want you worried about all that stuff. And they're pushing false scarcity. See, they say that all these resources and things are finite. That's all bullshit too. They're pushing false scarcity. They're pushing fear narratives. And they're ramping up the censorship. They're ramping up all their cute little faggoty buzzwords to try to gaslight dissent. It's not working, by the way. That's why they need the alien card now. And these bootlicking, shit-lapping MAGA loyalists are playing PR spin doctor for Daddy Zio. And I'm just sick of it. I'm a 33-year-old man who works pretty hard and makes a decent living, who still can't help but see that things around me are not great, and I don't think they're going to improve. And now that I have gone out in the world and I have experienced the suffering of everyday people, apart from what was a posh academic educational path back in Boston, in which my reality was going to be artificial and insulated, consequent of my social station, which is no more. But my point is now that I've gone out into the world and experienced the suffering of everyday people and have truly sweat and bled for a mid-level paycheck, it allowed me to develop perspective from having come from a more or less pretty high up academic environment. UMass Boston's no slouch of a school. But I went out into the real world for a few years, especially starting in Florida with nothing, and worked my way up and achieved self-sufficiency. And it was only then did I realize the significance of the situation that we are currently all in. And that is that they are destroying people's ability to succeed, provide for themselves, and to exist without the system. And now the system, because it's losing relevance, it's clawing out of desperation to get everybody back on reservation. The vaccines, the masks, the lockdowns, the watching the news and believing everything it has to say, all of it. And I think it's important for everyday American citizens to be engaging in these kind of conversations and to be watching things like Dr. Shiva and Jake Shields' podcast. I only put things up when I truly feel like there's a lot of significance to what is being said in these podcasts, in these dialogues. I don't just put stuff up for funsies. Maybe back in the day, but now when I put up like a short or a screen recording of something, it usually is because it is painfully relevant to the status quo, the mess that we're in, the fiasco that we're all now subjected to because of dishonest, lying, treasonous, pedophilic, satanic Zio pedophiles who are in key positions of power and are now ramping everything up by pulling all the big levers and all the big bells and whistles, Project Bluebeam and the UFO psyop, and more fake gay and satanic events surrounding dinners. It's all fake and gay. You are controlled by a bunch of faggot fruitcakes that you pay taxes to, that are hell-bent on animalizing young ones. And those are the fucking disgusting parasites that you pay taxes to, that now want to talk to you about what you can and cannot say online, that now want to talk to you about whether you can have this or have that. Fuck these people. I don't care if they're watching. They can literally go fucking touch grass. It costs nothing. But every American should be disgusted that you were sold a bag of goods, that you voted for no more wars, that you voted for no more censorship, that you voted no new world order, that you voted no digital currency, you voted no social credit score, you voted for an economy in which class mobility is an achievable attainment with reasonable willpower, discipline, and work ethic. You wanted an economy that rewarded you for your hard work, not punished you for it. And here we are. So yeah, I'm sick and disgusted. And yeah, I had to make a second video today. I'm gonna go peruse through that satanic book about my great-grandfather and see if there's any other little nooks and crannies that I think you all might need to know about. But until then, I think I'm gonna go hit legs now and just chill out. But stay safe, stay vigilant, turn off the news, don't consume any propaganda, and go watch that Jake Shields podcast with Dr. Shiva.